we are live. Welcome everybody to the Cleaner Cast number 5. We're gonna have Buff Brite on this episode, and we can't do it alone. We got to have my Canadian cohort himself, Mr. Alex Dewar at Bucky VW. Everybody, welcome, Mr. Alex Dewar. What's up, buddy?
Hey, everybody! Happy Friday.
Happy
Hope
Friday.
Everyone's doing well. Excited for this one, number 5. We're
number 5.
We got a full handful now. It's
Yep.
We're getting big time.
Yep. Got to tell everybody this week we went live on Anchor, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. So I need everybody to go subscribe, drop a 5-star review, and maybe it'll push us up the ranks or something.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. It's supposed to work like that or something.
Something like that.
Yeah. Yep. But today we have Mr. Tom from Buff Brite. This is a fella who, not too many companies give you a call nowadays when they send you products and want you to review. But Mr. Tom was someone who definitely gave me a couple phone calls actually. So that's how I knew he was going to be perfect to have on the Cleaner Cast.
Mm-hmm.
So good guest for number 5. So let's go ahead and bring him on the show. Everybody, Tom Smith from Buff Brite. Hello, Mr. Tom. How's it going?
Great, Jamie. How are you doing, my friend?
Doing well.
Good to see
It's
you, Alex.
hot here in Louisiana.
Nice to see you too,
How's
Tom.
it going? How's it going your way in Boise, Idaho?
It was a beautiful day. I'm dealing with my wife. Just had rotator cuff surgery yesterday afternoon, so I'm playing nursemaid today. I'm handing out. I'm the drug pusher. I'm handing out Oxy and all that good stuff to keep her out of pain.
Yeah, we send her well wishes. Rotator cuff can change, the way that shoulder works the rest of your life. So that's not fun stuff.
Yeah, it was. She's doing pretty good though. I'm keeping her medicated so she doesn't feel anything.
Good.
That's good.
That's what I like to hear. Hello, everybody. Humberto's here. Mr. Fred.
Yeah, we got Mike's out of detailing.
Hello, everybody.
Very cool.
Hi, guys.
All right. Well, Mr. Tom, can you give us your position in Buff Brite and just a little intro for us?
Well, I am the chief bottle washer and all that good stuff. I started the company about 5 years ago. I've been in the detail industry for 41 years. I'm older. Hopefully, I look a little younger than I actually am, but I'm 55. So I started at age 14. Worked in my cousin's Chevy dealership in Eastern Idaho, and fell in love with cleaning cars. And it's been a fun road. I've been through owning detail shops. I've put myself through college detailing cars. Got a degree in hospital administration. I never used one day, not even once. I wanted to try business first, and we started a big detail business in Boise here in 1989, and it just exploded. And we were using so much chemical and doing so much stuff with all our employees that grew into, well, hey, maybe we need to look at a way to get chemicals cheaper and save some money. So we got into distribution, and then I fell in love with that business. And my manager wanted to buy me out of my detail shop. We were pushing about 18 to 20 cars a day, had a pretty high production shop. And so I sold that to him, and I fell in love with the wholesale distribution business for 30 years and loved that. And loved training people and visiting everybody out on our route trucks. We ran Idaho, Utah, Nevada, and Arizona. So I stayed mostly in Idaho, but we had trucks everywhere. It was a great and a fun business, and just fun to go visit your friends every week. I had 400 friends to visit every week. It was fun.
Wow.
But that was just here in the Boise, Idaho area. But it's and then about 5 years ago, I had my son kind of work with me and another guy, and I finally had some free time. And I thought, you know what, now that I've got a little free time, all these ideas that have been kicking around in my head, let's see what we can do with them. And so that's when I started inventing and creating and designing what I call efficiency-based tools for the detail industry, things that I thought of but didn't have the time to make when I was back heavy at it in the detail business.
Right. I think you definitely almost blew through my first 2 slides here. The tale of Tom from Buff Brite, and give us a little bit of that origin story.
Sorry
You're about to roll into the next question, but I also like to say fantastic looking garage there. If you missed that, he actually did a garage tour for the Rag Company. It's over on the Rag Company's YouTube channel. And tell us a little bit about your garage tour. I think you built the garage like started on it 20 or so years ago, I think.
This is actually my kind of man cave / garage here at the house. This isn't actually where we run Buff Brite and do distribution from. We do a little wholesale from here, but we have all our fulfillment from another warehouse. So, this has just been my work in progress for a lot of years. Everything from collecting license plates to just slowly building it over the last 27 years into what it's become, and it's been a lot of fun. It's a nice place to go and have my therapy time, because for me, if I can't sleep at night, I literally go out in the garage and start working on a car. It's therapy for me.
Yeah, I bet. And with that space you've built, I mean, it's just, I loved it. Loved the tour. It was awesome. You got the industrial pressure washer. What kind of pressure washer was that over there?
That's a big Landa. Yep.
Landa.
Big Landa that is way overkill, but that's all right. That's kind of who I am. Way overkill,
Yep.
Yeah, the license plate collection is really neat. I enjoyed that bit.
Yes.
Yeah, that's I probably had 4 times that many, but I have one of at least each state in the whole country going around as kind of a wainscoting around the room.
Very cool.
I've got a hood hanging on the wall from a Camaro I built years ago that we switched hoods, and I had to put one with a cowl induction on, and then I had I've got a grill from a '69 Camaro hanging up there from another car we did. Just it's just been a collection of things. A pinball machine that I picked up for $50 and restored. None of it is expensive stuff. It's just kind of organized hoarding, I guess you could say.
Yeah. It looks like a blast. It looks like a lot of fun. I would love playing pinball in a garage. I mean, it's, you can sit and talk for so long, but I mean, that's such a conversation starter on its own. I think that's so neat.
It was the video game of the 70s, so I kind of grew up on some of that. So
yeah, I just had to touch on the garage tour. Go plug that for you. If you ain't seen it, go check out the Rag Company's YouTube channel. Tom gives you a tour of that lovely garage. It's just awesome. But any more to add to the end bit from going from a detailer to starting your own company?
No, I think I don't know. It's not that I don't like working for other people. I love working with other people, but I think most entrepreneurs like to be in the driver's seat, and they like to be able to make their own decisions. And so that's kind of what drove me there, is that I needed to be the one who had the final say on things. It's not that I, have to be the one to do that, but I like to have good input in it, and I'm very self-motivating. And so if you're self-motivating, that's the biggest step right there to being an entrepreneur, because nobody's going to get up and kick you in the rear to get out of bed. You got to do it yourself.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's going to roll into our next little slide here. And that's the origin of Buff Brite. So what you got for maybe those first few ideas? What was the first product you started working on? Tell us about the origin of the company.
The first one was the flamethrower light. And that came out by necessity. I was working in the shop, and I think I mentioned on the garage tour, I was working in the corner of my shop, and the ballast went out in the light right above me. And I was working on a black 69 Camaro. I've restored over 200 muscle cars in the last 25 years. I love and have a passion for old metal. So I was buffing this black car that we had painted a couple months before, color sanding and buffing it, and the light went out. And I didn't want to change the ballast. It was 10:30 at night. I couldn't go get one anyways. So, necessity is the mother of all invention. I tried to get a light behind me, but I couldn't because it was too tight of a corner I was parked into. I tried to use a headlamp. It just wouldn't give me what I needed. I was really struggling in that corner. And, maybe it was the light from the man upstairs that gave me the idea, but I went and grabbed a work light that I had, and I duct taped it to the front of my polisher. And
nice.
And I went, whoa, that's glorious. That really works. And it just got the juices flowing, and I just couldn't stop thinking. And it took about almost 20 prototypes. It's funny. I should grab the original prototype and show it sometime.
Yeah.
The first one I made was out of a piece of a broomstick with a piece of a like a hose clamp that was bolted to the broomstick that had a hole in it that could bolt it. It was so Mickey Mouse, but that was the first prototype, and I still have it. It sits on my desk, on my shelf behind my desk, and reminds me that great ideas start with real redneck ingenuity. So that's America, man.
Yep. So speaking of flamethrower, we'll stay on it. So this is the version 1, I believe.
Yep, that's version 1.
So now we have the new flamethrower 2. So can you tell us about the upgrades and what you've done, and why is there a number 2 now?
So, there's a number 2 because I don't believe that anything is ever good enough. You always have to. I guarantee you, there's a number 3 coming. So
nice.
Keep your eyes open. It's not going to be long. But we're always looking to improve and make them better. The main thing was the arm we made as a quick disconnect, and the reason being, I'll bring this up. So we wanted you to be able to take it from your polisher and hook it on to other items. So like this is an extractor wand. We wanted you to be able to take that and snap it onto that extractor wand so that you could have light when you were doing that. We also wanted you to be able to throw it onto a crevice tool, because everybody's been in a dark colored car before and you don't have good light. And if you don't have a good light and you're chasing all that sand and everything, you miss a ton of stuff. Well, with an 800 lumen light, you don't miss anything. So, and we can hook them to a tornador, so if you're messing with a tornador, we can hook it to the end of your pressure washer. So you've got light when you're down. Everybody's been cleaning a motor and you just can't see down in there. That light just barrels right through that steam and water, and you can just see down into the frame of a motor when you're trying to pressure wash, or up into a wheel well. Lighting in our business is everything, because you'll never clean what you can't see.
Yep.
But when you pull it outside, that's why everything I try and make is efficiency based. When you pull it outside and you realize you missed something, now your efficiency just went away, because you got to pull it in, you got to do it over. So get the right light, put it in the right place, and now you've got the efficiency that you need.
Exactly.
Right. Yep. And I've definitely been, you see mine's hanging out on the grills. I've definitely been putting it to work. I finally figured out your kind of laid back positioning. Yep. You were telling me about that, and I think I finally got it. Especially after your garage tour video, I saw
just like any flashlight, the farther you get away from it, the wider the pattern opens.
Yes.
And I don't want to work in a space that's that big. I want to work with a wider work area. And so when I see people mounting them on the front of their polisher, I'm like, I would hate that up there. It's in the way of your work. It's too tight of a pattern. Get it up, get it back, get it away from the head of the polisher, so you can move around the head of that polisher, especially around like mirrors and things. That's really important where you place that. Yeah,
I've definitely noticed needing the light. Once you take it off, you're like, I got to put this thing back on. That's when you really realize how good a flamethrower is and how much it helps you. I definitely have dead spots in my garage when going around a vehicle, especially lower on the panels and stuff, where the flamethrower is just a lifesaver. So I've been enjoying the flamethrower for sure.
Absolutely.
What was the next product in the Buff Brite lineup? Was it the for real?
So, I always wanted to make sure that any product that I come up with is a product that solves the problem. Lighting, huge need, huge problem. The next one that we've all been there is pet hair.
Pet hair.
You can waste.
Slide evolution of the fur eel.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, the pet hair situation was crazy. So we first came out with our first for real, and that's that product right there.
I was looking for my original one. I couldn't find it, but
I think I may have an original one around here somewhere. And but the first for real worked excellent, But
the
biggest problem that we had is that most of us guys, we think a little more muscle is better.
Burn through them.
So I get guys that say, hey, I tried this and I wore it out in 3 cars. And I'm like, okay, so how'd you use it? I won't even tell them. I'll just say, how'd you use it? Well, I just got on there and ground that hair out, just dug it out of there. And I'm like, well, that's not going to work. So our next thing we did, if you look, we put little bumpers at the bottom and on the sides and at the top. They kind of act like wear bars, so they don't let you put too much pressure. Now, some guys will still do it. Some guys think they got to lean all their weight on that thing to get the pet hair out. But this is not a tool that's about brawn. It's a tool that's about finesse. So lighter pressure and never go back and forth quickly, because you're just creating tons of heat and friction. And it's a soft tool. It needs to be to pull the hair. And if you use heat and friction, it's going to melt things, and that's what will happen. Yeah. And the last one is, and I'm sure you've used this, Jimmy, is spray something on it, glass cleaner or some paint gloss or something that has anti-static properties.
That was my next question. What is your recommended lubricating aid? Go ahead, Bucky. What you got?
I've certainly used the for real improperly before, putting a little bit too much pressure on it. And, it was crazy. The first one that I had, it certainly wore down pretty quick, and I'm not doing a ton of cars, I just do it on weekends and stuff. But then when I got the next one, I took a lot lighter approach, and it was amazing the difference that it made. And then with paint gloss on top of it, that lasted, I think I've done 5 or 6, and it's, still doing pretty well. Whereas the other one was only 2 or 3, but it's just like tweak to your technique. It's not, again, it's quick to blame the tool, like you said, but if you learn to use it correctly, then it works, and it's just as effective.
Yeah, how well would your Rupes polisher work if you lean with all your weight on it?
Wouldn't work.
You get stall.
It stalls, yeah.
Yeah, it just wouldn't work out. So the same way that the guys at Rupes say, hey, listen, lighten up, and let the tool spin. Lighten up, let the tool work. Because when you're pushing down hard, all you're doing is pinching that hair against the floorboard. And you're not, your suction can't do anything. You're making your job harder, and work smarter, not harder.
Yeah. Yep.
So
that is the key.
This version came out, lasts about 3 times as long. We are not done. You wait. We're never going to quit. There's a new version that will be around the corner. I'm not going to tell you when. We're moving up on it, but one of the big things you'll see about 10 times the longevity over this.
Oh, wow. You see this one, this is about 5-6 cars.
Yep.
So it's still hanging in there.
Yep.
But yeah. So I think drastic improvement.
So what do you do with them, Jamie? When the teeth are gone, what do you do?
I just throw them in a box.
Okay. Did you know that it's 2 tools in one? So when it wears out, it becomes a whole different tool. When you lose the teeth, now it becomes much better at short dog hair, and it also works better on lint and on like grass and carpets. And you're also going to switch your approach at that time. Because when it comes to short dog hair, the spray won't work as well. So you're going to switch to the dry method, and then you're going to switch to the scrub. You're actually going to lean on that tool then. So you can get in on a back carpet in a trunk and get that hay and stuff that gets in those, and just lean on it and go. You're going to do the exact same of what I told you to do when the teeth are there, and it's and you're going to love it. So
interesting.
Good tips.
That's very cool.
Good tips. Yeah, and I'm transitioning from that. Well, this has quickly become one of my favorite tools, and it is the hammerhead.
Oh, yeah.
For those back cargo areas, I'm telling you, this will clean them up so fast, even in Nissans. Some of the worst carpet there is. It does a great job.
Yeah,
so tell us about a little bit about the hammerhead.
There's certain car companies like Subaru. I'm pretty sure the translation is dog. I'm not sure, but every Subaru I've ever seen has had a lot of dogs in the back. But so the hammerhead is made out of the same exact material, but it's different, and it automatically lasts a lot longer because the action is different. You can only basically go one way with it. Just pull straight back. You can't do side to side with it. You can't go quickly with it. It just doesn't facilitate that action. So same technology, but it uses a different action. So you're going to get a lot better. And we also made it so these come off. When you do finally wear these out, See those clips in there?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
You'll push in on that on both sides, and it'll snap out of there. And you can just replace just the end. You don't have to buy the whole thing.
I'll be darned.
Very cool.
Well, look at that. Learn something new every day. That is.
I'm anxious to try the Hammerhead. That thing is. When I saw it at TRCMA, I'm like, holy smokes! I like this thing.
Yeah,
and it certainly has its purposes. Yeah.
If you're getting the Mommobiles in,
synergistically, the two tools together make a perfect marriage. But you can't just use the Hammerhead and not the other. You have to have both.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yes, this comes out for large cargo areas in the back, and then I switched the fur reel for the rest of the vehicle with great success. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the material. It's non-marring, so if anybody's wondering about that, it doesn't hurt plastics. Can you tell us a little bit about that technology?
Yeah, we couldn't use plastic because that's not going to work. We couldn't use rubber because rubber leaves behind black marks, you know. Yeah. And we want people to be able to use this on headliners and all that. So it's made out of a substrate material. It's made out of actually quite a bit of recycled product, which is kind of cool for us. Yeah. Currently, it's made in Italy. The only company we could find in the world that could work with polymeric silicone is a company that builds for Ferrari. They actually make all the weather stripping for Ferrari. Oh, wow. And so they could actually mold with this. We're actually moving. We found a company in the U.S. though, so it's going to be made in the USA here in the next 45 to 60 days.
Nice.
Yep.
Cool. All right.
But it's an expensive material to work with. It's not like plastic, and it's not like rubber. Rubber has all that carbon that's in it, and that carbon will leave all the skid marks behind it, as it were.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Right. Yeah, once you get a feel of it, you can definitely tell it's not rubber. It's certain material.
Yep.
But definitely, I've never had a problem with it leaving marks or anything like that. Great stuff. Bucky, got anything for the fur reel or Hammerhead?
Yeah, it's amazing. Like once you actually use that, you know, I've used a pumice stone before and certainly scratched plastic, but it's a lesson learned, you know, and then you just kind of seek out a different tool, which, you know, I learned about it from the rag company personally. And once I got my hands on it, it was awesome, you know, just because you forget how tight and curvy carpeted areas are in cars, you know, between a seat and a a door and a door sill and all this stuff. And just the back hatches. I mean, there's tons of stuff. And even on headliners too, you know, it's delicate enough to not wreck it, because I would never want to use a pumice stone on a headliner. Like there's no way. Whereas that's certainly something it's gentle enough, but yet effective, right? So it's learning your tools.
Everybody has things that they have tried on pet hair, and I have guys tell me, "Oh, I just hit it with a Tornador." Well, that's great. I love Tornadors for a lot of things, but when you hit it with a Tornador, you just throw that hair everywhere. Yeah, and you still got to come back and pick it up. And you can use like a lily brush or some of the other ones that are out there, the aniline. But the problem is you've got to pile that up, and then you've got to grab your vacuum and pull it up. It's still
twice the work.
Exactly. It's we've tested against all those, and without a doubt, every time it's 5 times faster minimum to use a for real than it is to use the others. Plus, hanging onto those other brushes, they're very. I think you're going to get carpal tunnel because it cramps your hand as you're trying to do that. And
you're really working with those brushes
right now. And let me put a shout out. A friend of mine told me this about this. Us detailers, we use our hands a lot. So I've got like a carpal tunnel, pre-carpal tunnel. Levi has it. We get kind of a detailer's elbow and all that.
We're getting there too.
Polishers. I have been hurting for 10 years with it. I put this on a week ago. It's full of magnets. Got it off Amazon for $19. Within a day, I have no pain. So I'm not a believer in hokey things. So, but I'm telling you, I have no pain in my fingers or my wrist from putting this magnet bracelet on. So it may look silly, but at least I'm not hurting.
Yep.
Yeah. I've been a welder for 10 years. I left that job in January, and now I'm detailing full time. So one job that's tearing up your hands to the next. So hopefully this podcast takes off.
Well, try
Let's
one
hope
of
so.
these. I'm not like I said, I'm a believer now, so I'll keep wearing it. That's for sure.
I'm telling you, I think the hammerhead has completely taken over the space for me, where all those other things, are trying to target. So I think the hammerhead's the solution, the ultimate solution.
People aren't buying smaller cars. Cars are getting bigger, and the spaces are getting bigger and more vertical and horizontal spots. So it's a good tool for what's to come with cars. They're just getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yes, I love the hammerhead has no ends. I love this.
Good. I'm glad you guys like that.
I love it. But anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about the brand new Buff Brite polisher skins you got going on these days. Mm-hmm. So we'll get into that. Fully customizable. Kind of like a
have you been on the website yet?
I just was checking it out today. I didn't know if it was up there or not.
On there a little bit earlier too.
And I saw that they finally got there.
It's pretty powerful. This is one. Do you know who Sydney Gwynn is?
Yes, sir.
From P&S?
Yep.
Yeah. So this is one that she made up. I mean, it's got her buff like a girl up there and P&S and all that.
There we go.
Oh, there we go. And then on the side, so she's got this was made right on our configurator.
Nice.
And, even her polisher lights, she's got her.
Oh, wow.
And all that on there, but
that's
pretty amazing. And she works with the Rag Company, so she threw their logo on there. But so they fit. We've got them fitting just about everything. We can fit all the Rupes Bigfoot models from the old Legacy tool from 2013, which they still produce, right on up to the model, the Mark III. It'll fit the LHR 15, the 21. It'll fit the Melee. I think I have. Here's one that somebody else made up. That's on a Melee, you can see. But those all have the same case. So they lay down so nice and smooth. And we've had them in testing for over a year. Actually visited the first one I put on in a high production shop here in Boise last week. And it still looks amazing. And they use that polisher all day, every day. It's not peeled up. It's not coming off. It's excellent. We've also got them for there's one on a Max Shine.
I was about to say, now you have griots, Max Shine, Flex. I mean, you got them all for all the polishers now.
Yep, we got the old 3401 Beast. There's one with some dragon scales on it, and you can just get so inventive, and you can make that your own. You can drop your logo on there. Here's one on the new Sea Beast that I designed. It's got all these teeth. It's got dragon scales and the eyes on it. And then you got all these teeth.
That's really cool.
All these teeth. So you can make it as gnarly as you want. Company logo, phone number, website. You're putting your polisher out there all the time on social media. Why not? Why not advance your brand?
Yep. And I'll tell you what, detailers love putting their logos on stuff and love stickers. So I think it's a big win in both categories.
Yep. And as long as you clean it with isopropyl alcohol, because polishers get really dirty, clean it well. I'm talking like 3 times. Make sure it's clean. Put them on. They're not coming off. But yet, if you ever do want to pull them off, they'll peel off. There's almost no residue. You clean it up with a little isopropyl alcohol, and you can put on a new one. You can change them every 6 months if you want and change your style. And they're not that expensive.
Yeah, that's it's really cool. And I mean, even just taking care of your stuff. I mean, it's just an extra layer of protection. I mean, you have a case on your phone all the time. It's a tool that you use daily. So, why not put protection on everything you use?
Yeah, here's one on
acts like a PPF.
I've got these ready for you now, Jamie, if you want any. Well, let me go the other way. But this is on a Griots G9.
And I got
you can just do all sorts of things. Throw some flags up there on the nose. Do whatever you want with it. It's you can really, have some fun with it. Guys are designing some really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Decals, as a
Decals,
viewer would say. Funny stuff, HM. Funny stuff.
Yeah.
But yes, polisher skins.
I think the customizability is really, really unique too, because and just giving them that option. So,
Is there a certain area of the website for the customization?
Just go to the main page on the home page and scroll down, and you'll see Design Tool.
Found it. Yep. Custom Design Tool, Buff Brite skins.
You'll push that, and then you choose your style of polisher, Bigfoot or Flex or Griots, whatever you want. It'll bring up your template and then you go to the side and you pick your background color. You pick your background. You can choose your different background, and you can play with them. You can crop them, move them around, flip them. You can invert them. Play with the tools up on that top bar a little. They're not that complicated. There's on each design, each thing that you bring up out of the clip art. We've got over 300 clip arts and 200 backgrounds preloaded for you. But there's 4 things. You can X out of it or delete it. You can widen it with on one corner. You can spin it on one corner, and the other one is a copy button. Push a copy, it'll create an exact copy of that. So you can, with those 4 actions, you can just sit and have all the fun you want, and then start dropping clip arts on it. And if ours isn't enough for you, grab your own clip arts. Grab a picture of your family. Grab whatever. You can make anything I think it's the 4th option down there is the one, it's called images. And you can bring in your own images, your own logos, whatever you want, and then save your design. So there's a thing to save your design. You can save 10 different designs if you want, and see what they look like. Then when you're ready, just go over and push checkout and check out.
Nice.
Very cool.
I like that. I'm definitely going to have to get on there now and come up with the cleaner G9 custom.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I guess that's all we got for the polisher skins. So my next question is, what you got next for Buff Brite? What does the future of Buff Brite look like?
Well, we've got 2 new patents that we're working on. So one's going to be a little bit more for the body shop industry, and then we got another one that is for a completely different industry. But it's still using some of our same technology and stuff. So it's going to be fun, but it's going to be different because we're kind of diving into the collision industry is not exactly what it's not that different, but at the same time it's not exactly the same either. So we have to do things a little bit differently, but it's going to be an exciting product. We're improving everything that we have. You're going to see a couple new things come out at SEMA. We'll probably have them out before SEMA, but find me at SEMA. You're going to see a lot of new stuff. We'll be roaming around like we always do from booth to booth because it just works better for us to visit different booths.
Right.
Very cool.
Good stuff. Chat, if you have any questions now, I'd say start dropping them below, and we'll end this thing with a live Q&A here in a second. Dewar, you got anything on your side?
Yeah, so with the me being in Canada, do the skins and everything ship internationally?
Oh, yeah.
Good question.
Yep.
Yeah, perfect.
Yep, we're already shipping them all over the world. I know Carzilla up there in Canada is getting ready to make their own skins. Also, JRP, Carson over at JRP is looking at making some of their own. Some of these big companies have really, really liked the idea, and they see the value in that piece of real estate on the polisher.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like you said though, I mean, with shops even just doing photos on Instagram, Facebook, whatever, like just having your name on your polisher, it's just another way to get your name out there, without having to really put it separately. So yeah, I'm excited for the skins. Yeah, Chris is awesome. Dealt with him a lot. He's not too far from me. So up at Carzilla. So he's that guy's a workhorse to say the least. So yeah,
I've talked to him a few times. I've never got to meet him. One of these days I'd love to meet some of these people that COVID's been strange. We have a lot of Zoom relationships and phone call relationships, but I'm ready for trade shows again and getting to shake the hands of the people that I get to do business with every day.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely. Going back on the skins, it's enough promoting Roops and Griots. Time to put your own logo on there and do some self-promotion.
It's funny because they love the idea so much. Down at TR SEMA, I talked to Dylan von Kleist from Rupes when I was there, and I said, hey, listen, we don't want to cover up your logo. We want it to be there. Do you want to add your clip art to and he was like, absolutely. So same with Chris Metcalf at Flex. He's like, yeah, let's do it. So all these companies, have given us their logos, and we're going to throw it on the clip art so that you can grab that. And if you want to rebrand with the Rupes red square with the Rupes name, it's going to look really cool. You can throw it right on your design, or the Flex logo, any of those. They've given us the right to do that, so you'll be able to rebrand with their polishers.
That's very cool. Yeah.
We have a slight question. I was about to ask if you ship to Canada, Carzilla would be the best route. Is Buff Brite at Carzilla?
Yes.
All the products?
Yep. They have, they're at JRP also. So both those guys are great companies, and we've got a lot of good people up there in Canada that are carrying the product and doing well with it. So.
Mm-hmm.
Right on, right on. Well, chat, you're not giving me much. So
yeah, it's a quiet bunch, but
yep,
that's okay.
That's all right. Yep. Well, Tom, you got any closing thoughts?
Well, I just want to say I have a passion for this industry. I truly, it has given me so much in my life, and it doesn't feel like work whether I've been detailing or, distributing product for 30 years or inventing and designing tools for the industry. I want guys, if they have any questions, reach out. While I've still got my marbles in my head, let's rattle them around and jog my memory. If I can help any of you in any way, shoot me an email and ask me a question. I'd love to be a help if I can.
Right. Perfect. You have many, many years of detailing experience. That's why it's a pleasure to have you on today's cast. Dropped a lot of knowledge, a lot of tips for all the little attachments and whatnot. If anybody was wondering, the flamethrowers definitely fit on the griots, as you saw. Can you explain the little piece that you take off right here, and then it'll fit, just go right on the griots?
We call that the hub. A lot of guys say, "Hey, that looks like a socket." Well, it
kind of does.
That's kind of what we copied it after, because we wanted that quick disconnection. And we wanted to keep it simple, because sometimes if you get too crazy with your connection, you can have problems. But how long has a socket wrench been out? A lot of years, and they take a lot of abuse. So we kind of use that design, and it works flawlessly.
No need to reinvent the wheel.
No, and the patent had run out of on that a long time ago, so we didn't have to worry about patent issues.
Well, that's good. Yeah.
I was going to ask you about the fang too. So we got the fang attachment. When do you use, like someone was looking shopping, when would they buy the normal kind of for real and then buy the fang?
Well, the old one, you've got a version 1 there. You go ahead and show them that. That's the original fang. Okay. That's just a round tube, and it's much better. We came out with the new one, and it's much better because it's like a crevice tool. It's a little longer, and it fits the ergonomic design of the for real, which has an oval shape to it.
So I have that one, so it works well.
Yeah, and I actually like a tool. We first made it to fit the orange crevice tool that's out there that Mr. Nozzle makes and other people sell. But and I love those tools, but 16 inches is a little too long sometimes. Right. So 7.5 that one is just a nice. You can still get under the seats everywhere you need to be, but it's just ergonomically friendly for your hand.
Yes, just works better. Shortens up your tool.
Yep.
All right.
And the other thing that we did by doing that, is we gave ourselves 2 ways to fit it. So it's 1.25 inches inside, which fits like the orange detailer vacuum hose that they sell for the rigids and that kind of stuff. And then we have an adapter for the large rigid hose, if you have that one. The outside is 1.5 inches, and the 1.5 inches fits any of your standard car wash hoses, that kind of stuff. The 1.25 inches will also fit things like, a home canister vac, and a lot of it fits a lot of things.
Yeah, I was actually going to say, I'm like, hey, those attachments in the hammerhead too. I mean, that's not just for cars; it's for in the home too. Because pets don't just shed in your car; they also shed in your house. So,
that's true. I have 2 German Shepherds, and it is. I have a never-ending supply of test things for the hammerhead and the for real. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, I could only imagine.
Yep, indeed. Well, Mr. Tom from Buff Brite, I think that pretty much covers it. I think we answered. I think that's all the questions I can muster.
Yep.
I think we pretty much covered it all.
All right. Well, if we come out with something new, I'll let you know, and we'll get in touch with you, and we'll let you help us show it off.
Sounds good. It was a pleasure having you on. You drop all your plugs for us.
Yeah, visit us at buffbrite.com. That's BRITE, not IGHT. Or you can go to Buff Brite on Facebook or Buff Brite Products on Instagram. You can also look up Fur Eel Products on Instagram too if you'd like. But the easiest way to find us is just at Buff Brite. And if you have any questions for me personally that I can help you with, it's tom@buffbrite.com.
Boom.
Perfect.
There you go. You can follow Mr. Dewar. I almost did it again.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yep. Mr. Dewar, you can follow him at Bucky VW. You can follow me at Jamie the Cleaner. And don't forget, this it's now a podcast officially, as you can go follow us on Anchor, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. I want all y'all guys to go subscribe, drop the 5-star review. Let's push it up as high as we can get it. It all helps. Hit the like button on this video, of course. It'll be uploaded to YouTube afterwards as well for replay. Tom, it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure having you on. Thanks again, and that'll wrap it up.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
Yeah, thanks, everybody. Tom. Appreciate it. Have a good night.
See you. We'll be back next Friday. See you later.